Welcome back, everyone. As you can probably guess from the title as well as the thumbnail, this is the firearm that we're going over here today. This one is the Stag Pursuit bolt action rifle from them. It's relatively new for them. However, it's been out almost a year now. I've had it in the entire time, and I have a ton of rounds through this rifle. In fact, right before I came out here, I was going through some footage just to see what I had, and I realized I had over an hour of just shooting footage. So we definitely got some rounds through it. But what we're going to do today, of course, is walk you through the rifle itself, go over all the key features that you guys might want to know if you are looking for a bolt action rifle, then head out to the range. We're going to test the accuracy and then sort of walk through it piece by piece, spec by spec, if you will. But before we do that, just quick baseline on the actual gun itself. It's a modified Remington 700 action. We will get into the modifications as we go through the video. This particular one is in 308. It comes in 3 different calibers as of when I'm recording this video. So the 308 has an 18-inch barrel, which is the one we have here. 6.5 Creedmoor has a 20-inch barrel, and then it has a 6.5, I believe, PRC, which comes in a 22-inch barrel version. And basically, they come in 3 different colors. We have the FDE black and green, OD green. Additionally, they're apparently coming out with different chassis systems, which as of right now, they're not out with, so I don't know, but I have heard that they're coming out with different chassis systems, so they might look a little different in the future. However, the base rifle should be the same. And with all of that, we do need to thank the main channel sponsor before we head out to the range, and that is the good folks over at Brownells. They have a ton of the stuff that we have used throughout this video, the rest that we're about to use at the range, optics, ammunition, magazines, parts, and gunsmithing supplies, all over there at Brownells, so big thank you to them for that. Now we're going to see what kind of groups we can get. We got a few different loads from our friends over at Firearms Depot. If you guys aren't checking them out, definitely recommend you do so. They sponsor all of the non-9mm ammo here on the channel, and all of this ammo came from them. We definitely appreciate it, and they have really good prices as well, so that's also a bonus. So you got the rifle with the Lahar 30K silencer on there, Primary Arms GLX, I believe this is a 4-to-16 scope with the ACSS reticle, and obviously excellent scope for the money. We've done a full video on it, target down range at 100 yards. We have a Caldwell rest here. That's kind of my only point of apprehension. As I mentioned before, down here in the Southern Command headquarters, we use this rather than the CTK Precision that I use elsewhere, and I think this is a touch less stable, just from what I've seen over the years doing this. But the first load up is this load here. It's just a FMJ load, 308 Winchester, 150 grain, nothing fancy at all. And then we have a couple fancy loads after that, some match hunting type stuff. So I think that's pretty much it. Let's get to it. Well, certainly not the tightest group, but not horrible either. So up next, we're gonna have the Sig Sauer Marksman Elite. That is obviously a 308 chambering with 175 grain open tip match bullet on there. I have never shot this load out of any rifle, so Lord knows how it'll do out of this one, but that ball stuff performed about what I would expect for ball stuff. That is what it was zeroed with, so I kind of knew what that was gonna do. And it's been pretty consistent with what you guys just saw there. Definitely tightened it up a little bit with that group. Next up, we have the last up, I should say. We have the Federal Gold Medal Burger, 185 grain Juggernaut. Open tip match projectile. Let's go check them out. Well, y'all have already seen these groups, but just to get out measuring tape and see what they actually are, that one right there, scotch over 2 inches. So center to center there, we're right at 2¼ inches. Then we came up here, I believe this was the SIG load, and definitely tightened up. Center to center, we are at 1 1/8 inches on that one. Then over here to the Gold Medal Burger, we didn't have that one. It would be even more impressive, but it's definitely sub MOA. So yeah, we are center to center, right at just under 7/8 of an inch on that one. So definitely a good group. Obviously, with different loads, different testing, different conditions, you could probably tighten that up a little bit, but all in all, pretty darn good. The two, fancy loads we tried were right at MOA or just underneath, so can't be mad about it. And then, of course, 2 inches with ball. Hey, if it came down to it, you had to use it. It's not that bad. PatriotMobile.com. You can head over to PatriotMobile.com/MrGNG or call 972-PATRIOT to activate, and you get free activation when you use the offer code MrGNG. For 10 years now, Patriot Mobile has been America's only Christian conservative wireless provider, and when I say only, they are the only game in town. Patriot Mobile is a new supporter of the channel, and we had the opportunity to link up with them over at the NRA show recently. It was a great time, just really good people, solid Americans who believe in the types of things that you and I believe in. So when you switch to Patriot Mobile, you're sending a message to the industry that you support free speech, religious freedom, the sanctity of life, the Second Amendment, our military, veterans, and first responder heroes. The customer service is 100% US based as well, which makes switching easy. You can keep your number, keep your phone, or upgrade. Their team will help you find the best plan for your needs. Once again, free activation when you use the code MrGNG. Head over to PatriotMobile.com/MrGNG. Again, free activation with code MrGNG at PatriotMobile.com/MrGNG. With the accuracy testing out of the way, let's get into the rifle. We'll start out here at the end and work our way towards the rear. So this model, again, is in 308 with that 18-inch barrel on there. It is a heavy, tapered, spiral fluted barrel. It is made out of 416R stainless steel, and then it has a Cerakote finish on there. I'm not sure if we're rolling in photos that you guys can see. It should be, but the Cerakote is starting to wear a little bit, so you can see that stainless finish underneath there. Has a 1 in 10 twist as well, and anybody who has watched this channel for a while knows that I harp on barrel profiles. I'm a big fan of tapered profiles for most things. There are certain reasons that you might want a pencil profile. There are certain reasons that you might want a heavy profile. However, something like this, in my opinion, is kind of the best of both worlds. It's not heavy out on the end, which is where weight really matters. And it also has the nice thick portion, which is nice and rigid back here towards the chamber to help with accuracy. And of course, it tapers down towards the end. The spiral fluting just helps with heat mitigation. It also helps with weight reduction as well. So really nothing to complain about in terms of the barrel. You guys have already seen the accuracy out of it. And of course, with different rounds, you might be able to tighten those groups up or hand loads. And I should note that Stag on all of the rifles has a lifetime barrel warranty. So should you shoot your barrel out, they will replace it with free. Additionally, they do have an MOA accuracy guarantee. And as we just saw, it seems to live up to that, which certainly is nice. So continuing on back, out here at the bottom of the rifle, you do see we do have this 1913 portion that extends out. It really does help stabilize the rifle, and when you're on the gun, obviously you're manipulating it from the rear as you do with a bolt action rifle, and it really does allow you to get that finer point of aim, extending the pivot point with your bipod out there further than it otherwise would be. However, I do know that some of you guys want to shoot from a tripod, and you have a couple options with this rifle. So as you guys can see right here, we have the M-LOK portions there on the bottom. We also have a sling attach point there, quick attach sling attach point. I'm not sure why you'd want to use that, but it is there if you want to for whatever reason. I would definitely recommend using one of the ones on the side. That's my personal preference, but to each their own. But the reason I mentioned tripod shooting is that it does come with an ARCA to M-LOK adapter, so that way if you guys want to shoot off with the tripod, you certainly can do so, and you can mount it wherever you'd want on this handguard. Obviously, we do have a metal portion there on the bottom, which is nice, and the bottom is also flat, so that way if you want to shoot off surfaces, whether they be a barricade, a rock, a backpack, whatever the case may be, it will help you stabilize that rifle and steady it for the shot that you have to make at whatever distance you are engaging at. Before continuing on to more details of this rifle, we do need to mention this video is going to be a Mug Club video, meaning that we're going to do the free video on the rifle here on YouTube and Rumble for everyone. And then we're going to head over to Mug Club where we do exclusive content. Right now we're doing one video a week over there. And this week we're going to be talking about Oregon, some crazy things that are going on in Oregon where a whole bunch of gun owners unfortunately just became criminals as of September 1st. So we're going to walk you through all the details over there on Mug Club. And for those who don't know what that is, it's a place where it's censorship free, and there's a number of creators over there. You guys should see them here on your screen that are making exclusive content for members only, where we don't have to worry about not showing you guys how to disassemble a bolt or something like that because we might get struck by the censors. So that is where we do it over on Mug Club. If you guys are interested, there should be a code here on your screen that will get you guys a free month over there on Mug Club. And with that, let's get back to the rifle. Before we get into the action, trigger, all those sorts of things, we are going to clear the rifle just for safety's sake. So one thing that's nice about this rifle is that it does have an ambidextrous magazine release. It's on both sides of our trigger guard, forward of the trigger guard itself, and basically you just push forward on it and your magazines will drop free. It does ship with a Magpul 5-round magazine. It does work with all AI pattern magazines. We use 3 different patterns throughout this testing. Or 3 different brands, I should say. So we use the Magpul 5-round as well as 10-round. I have a ton of those. We also use the AI pattern magazine itself, the actual metal one. These things are stupid expensive. I have no idea why anyone buys them when the Magpul are available. So that is my recommendation. Then we also use this magazine right here from Amend 2. And one thing I will tell you, this one, for whatever reason, caused the action to hang up a little bit. So it's not on the action itself. I think it just has to do with the lips of the magazine are a little bit wider than the Magpul. I don't know really how much more, but if you actually look at it, you can see it's like at least a 0.5 millimeter or something like that. And that was causing the bolt to get hung up a little bit. After we realized it was a magazine issue, we went back to just using these 2 magazines and fired hundreds of rounds with absolutely no issues with a smooth bolt throw as you would expect. So that certainly is nice. Speaking of the bolt itself, it does have a 60-degree bolt throw, as you guys can see right there. So basically that of course is in the locked position, up and then back, very smooth, not a lot of play at all. Towards the rear you have some, as you do with any type of bolt action, but not a ton, and it locks in very positively. And of course, when you actually do fire the actual gun itself, let's make sure that we are clear. We are. When you fire it, our little red indicator, the cocking indicator there, goes home on the back, and then when we actually push it up, it does cock on open, as you guys can see. And then of course our safety mechanism is towards the rear here. And basically that is your safe position. As you can see, the trigger will not move. And then if we go ahead and put it into fire and press the trigger, it does go home. Speaking of the trigger itself, it is a Trigger Tech trigger that is adjustable. It's a match trigger. You can adjust this thing down to just over 1 pound if you want to. For the purpose of this review, we just left it as it comes from the factory, breaking right around 2.5 pounds. It is fantastic. Absolutely cannot complain about the trigger at all. One thing that's nice about the gun as well is that you can leave it on safe and you can manipulate the bolt with it on safe. I know a lot of guns don't offer that, but this one certainly does. So if you are using it for hunting, that definitely could be something that you're interested in. But speaking of the actual trigger brake here, let's zoom in so you guys can get a look at it. It is silly, as you would expect from a precision bolt gun. We have that flattish shoe trigger on there, and then just the smallest amount of pressure, smallest amount of rearward movement, and that thing breaks. Absolutely cannot be mad at it at all. Over here on the left side of the receiver, we do have our bolt release. And basically we are just going to push in on it and pull back on our bolt, and that should let the bolt come out. A few things here. We're going to show you this thing disassembled. I can't disassemble it on camera because of YouTube's rules. However, like we said, it is a modified Remington 700 action. One of the things Stag did, which was very nice, is you can take this bolt apart extremely easy. Again, I can't show you how to do it on YouTube, but essentially you just twist it a quarter turn and everything comes right apart. You can actually change your bolt out if you want to as well. Like we said, other calibers should be coming, so it's very easy to work on. Honestly, there's not much to this rifle. Again, if you actually wanted to remove the chassis system, we have a couple screws here, and that's basically it. Your barreled action will come right out with your trigger pack. So it is very easy to work on for sure. The actual optics mount that you see on there, the rail is a 20 MOA rail, so that way it's going to give you extra elevation, extra distance, in addition to whatever the scope that you choose already has. Continuing rearward to the stock, as you would expect, it has some adjustment to it in a couple different places. But one thing I think is very cool that I haven't seen on a ton of different rifles out there is that it does have this cross pin on there, and you can actually remove your stock for storage. So it actually breaks down into a very compact little package, especially with its 18-inch barrel, as you guys can see on there. And then of course, if you get back out in the field, very easy to just line everything back up. If I can do it here on camera, there you go, and put our pin back in, and it is rock solid. It is not going to move at all. Speaking about the grip, one thing that I really like is the ergonomics of the pistol grip portion here. Obviously, I'm going to do it with my left hand so you guys can see it, but it really fills your hand up. There is a lot of surface that you can actually grip onto there with your hand, and when you're pulling it back into your shoulder, you definitely get a good purchase on it. That grip texture there does help. Additionally, this nice slim portion here helps it get out of the way of your wrist when you're in the firing position. Back here at the rear, as we mentioned, it comes with that ARCA attachment. It also comes with a bag rest. So it attaches via the M-LOK slot at the bottom of your stock. If you guys want to use that, you can. It is up to you, but it comes with it out of the box. So there's a lot that comes with this rifle out of the box, as you guys are probably getting a pretty good idea of at this point. Of course, our comb height is adjustable. Just a little screw over here. It's not quickly adjustable, and I actually prefer that. I know there's a lot of rifles out there that have quick adjustments. I'm not sure how practical that is, because most folks, when they set it up with whatever ring height that they're going to go with, they're probably just going to leave it, and that is where they're going to stay with. So that is how we have it here with the actual comb. And then we have these spacers built into the stock itself that allow you to adjust the length of pull. We have 3 in there right now. It comes with 4 total. It allows you to get it down to, if I had to guess, somewhere close to just under 12 inches. And then obviously we can go out to roughly inch and a half more than that in terms of length of pull. We also have this relieve portion on there. And you guys have probably noticed when I'm shooting from the prone a lot, that's where I'm putting my support hand, just to make sure that we stabilize the rear of that rifle as much as possible. As I mentioned earlier, with that bipod out front, you want to make your small adjustments here at the rear. Of course, if you're shooting from the prone, that does give you the most consistent accuracy. There's other techniques, but that is the one I prefer, especially when shooting from the prone. Again, we do have these steel quick detach sling points there, so that way you can attach your sling in multiple points. And of course, we have the M-LOK slots on the bottom if you guys wanted to put one in a different point other than the one underneath or the ones here on the side. That said, I'm pretty sure most of you guys are going to be pretty good with just those 2. And then we have this nice thick rubber butt plate on the rear, helping absorb the recoil. It's not a bad recoiling rifle at all. As you can imagine, in 308, not too hard hitting. Even in 6.5 Creedmoor, it's probably going to be even less in terms of that recoil impulse. So that pad is going to do its job as long as you do your job as the shooter. At this point in the video, we've gone over most of the important things, with a couple exceptions in my opinion. Something we always try to hit on at the end of all my gun reviews anyway is going to be reliability as well as price point. So a lot of people think that a bolt gun is going to be reliable no matter what. That absolutely is not the case. There are a lot of bolt action rifles that have trouble feeding, particularly with different magazines. As we mentioned earlier, this one here, the Amend 2s, for whatever reason, just don't work well with this rifle in terms of a smooth feeding process. However, with either one of these, feeding was a breeze, no matter what type of ammo we used, whether it be ballistic tipped, open tip match, any of that stuff, it all worked extremely well, fed in very easily. And again, it's a very smooth bolt throw, as you guys can see, provided that the actual magazine you're using works well with the rifle. So again, we're going to stick to these 2 for this particular rifle. Now, of course, that may change with other rifles out there on the market. It's a sample size of 1, but that is what we have found to date. Very smooth feeding, regardless of ammunition, provided that you're using proper magazines. So that certainly is good. Cost point. Well, it's not cheap, but it's not as expensive as a lot of other competitive options out there on the market. I believe the MSRP for the version that you guys see right here is coming in right around $1,899. Looking around right now, right before coming out here to film this, I was able to find it somewhere between $1,500 and $1,600 street price. So, you know, there are very good bolt action rifles that are going to come in somewhere around the $600 to $900 price point. And of course, there's a lot of other ones that are going to come in around the $3,000 to $4,000 to $5,000 price point. This one is somewhere in the middle, and I think for the feature set that you get, it is a fair priced rifle. I do not know how well these have been selling since they've been out. However, based on what I've seen and just the other reports that I've seen online, people are getting pretty good results with this rifle. As you guys saw out there, again, it meets the MOA standard. And again, if you look online and a lot of the Sniper's Hide forums, for example, you will see guys shooting half-inch groups with these pretty consistently with their hand loads. So I'm confident that with the right ammo, this one will tighten up even more. All in all, guys, it seems to be a good rifle. Has a ton of features. Like we said, it has features that a lot of rifles that are priced a lot more are going to have. So whether or not it's right for you, I don't know. Whether or not you want to go with that $600 to $900 gun over something like this because you don't need all the features it has, ultimately that is up to you guys to decide. But basically, we just shoot the rifles and let you guys make the choice here at home. If you guys are watching this anywhere besides YouTube, there will be a link to pick them up down below in the comment section. Of course, YouTube does not allow for that. Additionally, if you guys like this type of video and you're not subscribed, go ahead and hit the subscribe button rather, because we put out 2 to 4 videos a week here on the channel, no matter what, pretty much religiously. And if you're not seeing those, there's an algorithm preventing your eyes from my content. Hit that subscribe button. It does help. If you've done that and you're still not seeing them, You can sign up for the email at the website here on your screen. This email goes out once a month, so it's not super spammy or anything like that, and it just has all of the videos since the previous month's email went out. So that way it goes straight from me to you, and there's no big tech giant censoring your eyes from my content. Additionally, if you guys like things like this rifle, this scope, the magazines, the ammo, the bipod, silencer, things like that, make sure you're signed up for my daily deals email. That goes out every day as the name indicates, and it has 8 of the best deals that we find around the internet. If the item, whatever it is in the email on a given day, it's the cheapest I know of for that particular item anywhere on the internet, because I've already done the price comparisons for you. So that way it saves you guys some time and hopefully saves you some money as well. Additionally, speaking of deals, we have a new SMS service. So if you guys want to get deals right in your message box on your phone, definitely sign up for that here at the website on your screen. It goes out at most once a day. It's not super spammy, just like the email. One a day, best deal that we find around there, find around the internet rather. Or if we have a new video that comes out that is time sensitive, we will definitely send it out in that SMS text as well, so you guys can check it out before everyone else gets to see it. And with that, that's pretty much all I have for you. Thank you all for watching. I look forward to seeing everybody in the next video.